So I wanted to take a couple minutes today to talk about a video I did a while back, well before the premiere of Season 9 of The Walking Dead, and now that we're past Season 9 of The Walking Dead, I feel like this is a theory that, while I wasn't entirely right, I feel like I got pretty much correct. Daryl's budding family. Hey YouTubers, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Season 9 of The Walking Dead gave us a concept of Daryl. I mean, really coming back from the brink of just being a character that grunted all the time and was very much sad all the time. I mean, yes, Daryl Dixon has gone through a lot. He lost his brother, he lost Beth, he lost almost everybody else that he has ever liked in this world. He even lost his best friend, Rick Grimes, his self-proclaimed brother, in this season. But still, it gave us a little bit more of Daryl Dixon than we have ever really gotten. The concept of this guy still talks. He still interacts with people. He still cares about people, and he still is willing to make connections with people. And I feel like, and I've done videos about the concept of Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus becoming the main lead of AMC's biggest show. They need him to grow up. They need him to have relationships and kind of more of a family dynamic in order to sell the show and make him the lead character. I've argued in the past that that's why Connie was introduced. In fact, in the comic books, Connie is a real character, but Kelly, her sister in the television show, is actually her husband or boyfriend in the comic book series, and he is a big part of the comic book series. I really do feel like they should have killed Kelly within the Pike deaths. That would have been a little bit more impactful, because a lot of people, myself included, got on the whole Connie and Daryl hype train that has been going on over the last couple of weeks. I mean, I understand why they wouldn't want to do that. Kelly's character is really an important role in the comic books, and they don't want to stray too far away from that. But as a lot of people pointed in the video that I did about this, it would have made a whole lot of sense, and it would have allowed Connie and Daryl to have that connection. They both lost a sibling within this universe, and it would have allowed the connection to happen much quicker than what would happen now. Who knows? Maybe Angela Kang and everyone wants to deal with that. Now, with the way that Season 9 ended, it's possible that Daryl and Carol might have a relationship, or at least a chance to have a relationship, and I know a lot of people are still on that ship. They want it to happen. I'm just saying, yeah, that's endgame type of goals, but let's just wait. I mean, I realize that Daryl and Carol are going to be the last two remaining survivors in this zombie apocalypse, but those two people can get together at the very end, you know, when there's nobody else and their friendship kind of takes a new level. But right now, Daryl and Connie make the most sense. I love that relationship between them, but the main focus of the video that I did before this season started was the fact that they had to replace the Carl and Lydia storyline within the Whisperer storytelling. And yeah, they didn't do that. Just lo and behold, they allowed for several time skips in order to make Henry that much older and allow for that story to work. But one of the reasons I thought that this would be a little bit compelling, and now it seems to be the case, who knows how this is going to affect the show going forward, whether or not Lydia is going to take Carl's role in the entire series is up for grabs. Like, anyone's guess at this point is good enough. But before the season started, I thought that they can substitute the entire role of Lydia and Carl's relationship with a Lydia and Daryl relationship where Daryl ends up adopting Lydia as his surrogate daughter. Lo and behold, that's what they did. I mean, Daryl has stood up for Lydia. He has allowed her to live in this community. In fact, he tells people not to pick on her. I mean, how much is this girl going through? Her mother killed her boyfriend. She's banished her from the place that she really grew up in. And everyone in the community that she's living in hates her. Daryl's the only one who understands her and wants to raise her and take care of her. This girl now, I don't care what anyone says, is now officially Daryl's daughter. And I really hope they continue to tell that story within Season 10 because it's compelling. Like I said, Lydia can take on Carl's older roles now, while they have Judith take on whatever Carl really needs to be or what he was in the comic books. That's totally fine. Getting rid of Henry was okay. You just needed him to start this thing, and now you can use her and Judith and stuff. It doesn't really make that big of a difference one way or the other. It's still really compelling. And then you have Connie, you have Daryl, you have Lydia, you have Dog. That's just a nuclear family right there, right? I mean, obviously you have Daryl and Connie, and unless they're listening to the fan base, these two characters aren't going to get together anytime soon unless we get some major time skips. But they obviously respect each other. There's a lot of chemistry there, and it just works in general. And then you have Lydia, who Daryl's already kind of adopted as his daughter. Connie, if they're going to be in a relationship, plus everything that happened in this season, makes a lot of sense. that these two people would adopt this girl as their daughter and raise them as their own. Kind of the same way that Ezekiel and Carol took in Henry and raised him as their own son. That's something that I'm looking for here. I feel like that would be perfect for this series, and it would kind of flip everything on its head, because at the beginning of this season, it looked like Carol and Ezekiel had everything made. I mean, they were happy, they had an entire community that they were running, and they had a son who had inspiration, ambition, and everything else. He wanted to provide and lead the community in the same way that his parents were and the way that they raised him. He went out into the world and ended up falling in love, ended up dying for that woman. That woman becomes Daryl's surrogate daughter. He gets a relationship with this other woman, adopts a dog, all of this other stuff. He starts having this life that Ezekiel wanted. I mean, Ezekiel at this point we thought was going to die on the pikes. He did not. How is this going to affect him? What is this going to be like in season 10? We're not sure. Whether he's going to be jealous of Daryl for everything that he has. Like, literally, Daryl has taken his entire life. He ruined it, and now he's taken it, and that's going to be a sticking point with that character. We're not sure. But this is going to be something that drives the story, and I love the concept that they're finally giving Daryl some form of happiness. Too much has Daryl Dixon's character been focused on just whatever can make him sadder. The guy's never going to break, but he can sit there and he can deal with the death of his brother and Beth. He can lose Rick. He can lose people like Glenn and everyone else that he's lost throughout this entire show, and yet he can still kick. That's not really compelling anymore. What's going to be compelling is seeing him gain things, to seeing him open up and talk and express his feelings with people. I'm sure that everyone else listening to this wants to see that in the future of this series, because if they're going to make sure that Norman Reedus is the main character of The Walking Dead, at least the main show, not the movies, not any spinoffs or anything else like that, we need him to be a legitimate character, and the best way to do that is to give him a little family, which he seemingly adopted and becomes very close to in season 9, with Connie, with Lydia, and with Dog. I hope everyone has enjoyed the video. Tell me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload, and also go down to the description section below to hit that link and go follow me on Twitter, where we can talk about The Walking Dead or the Saw franchise, anything else I cover on this channel or my other channel or anything else like that. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It's been real.